Hey everyone, I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and welcome to his channel.
Wait, that's my line, but at the end of the last video, we had finished the repair and we were going to find out if it started and we would be able to drive it.
Or if we're going to be bringing it home on a U-Haul trailer.
Yeah. So let's cut back to that.
Okay.
The good news is the engine started up fine. Now we need to bleed the cooling system and hope we don't find any other issues with it. It turns out it's kind of a process to get the coolant bleed done, and it took us longer than we expected. We used the funnel to add coolant while the engine was running. The funnel was a good way to add coolant and monitor for bubbles, but the official procedure is to fill first, then run the engine with the fill cap in place. You also want to make sure that the front of the car isn't lower than the rear, which it turns out it was when we started. I think in all we did the bleed procedure about 4 times. Right after another bleed, it turns out leaving the cap on is the move. Ow, that's hot. And we're going to monitor the tank here. So we have to bring it down to between fill and max. But the trick is really, when the engine's cold, open this up. Open your bleeder screw there, top it up. When the coolant comes out of the bleeder screw in the back, close that back up. And then put the cap back on. Let it come up to temperature. Bring it up to 3,000 RPM for 10 seconds. And then back down. You can do that 3 or 4 times. And then let it cool back down. And then it should suck coolant back out of here into the system. And you also want to make sure you're getting heat in the cabin so that you know that there's no air bubble blocking that system as well. And came out hot. Topped it up. We'll monitor this. It's going to cool down again. We'll check it. But we should be good to get back on the road. After that success, we took a well-deserved nap before we got back on the road towards Santa Rosa. With that, we could be back on our planned mileage schedule, because if we had stayed another night, the next day would have been over 12 hours of driving, which might have been a bit much. All things considered, 1 day lost wasn't bad to get the job done right. Big thank you to Sky City Casino Hotel for letting us work on the car in the parking lot.
Alright, so it's day 3. We are in New Mexico, heading through Texas, Oklahoma into Missouri. Scenery is still very nice, quite flat. We get a little bit of wind. It's also a little overcast, which is nice. The Infiniti is doing great. So our fixes have worked. And Mercedes is doing great, of course.
As we enjoyed this time-lapse section, I have to say New Mexico was definitely a standout for scenery on this road trip. I'm looking forward to visiting again and to take the time to see more. If you have recommendations of places to visit on a future road trip, let me know in the comments.
These roads are so noisy! It doesn't help that these are low-profile tires, but very low profile. But this is quite a rough road. At least the scenery is really nice. So, as I've been driving along, I've been feeling the car kind of pull to the left. But then when I was in the right lane, I felt it pull to the right. And turns out these roads are crowned pretty noticeably. So usually it's so that the rain will run off either side of the road. And yeah, so if you're out in New Mexico, heading towards Texas, if you notice that, that's not your alignment, probably. Alright, so we're in northern Texas. We got a lot of wind turbines. It's wide open. Still really nice scenery. And we're still making good progress.
Day 3 also had one stop we were really looking forward to, and that's Buc-Ee's.
Right. Buc-Ee's of Amarillo. I have heard legends of this place.
Lots of fuel pumps, cheap gas, just $2.80 for 93 octane, and a huge shop. People make a big deal out of Buc-Ee's, and it lived up to my expectations. The food highlights were the beaver nuggets and the barbecue brisket sandwiches, but there are so many tasty options. I'm really looking forward to visiting again. After leaving Buc-Ee's, I got some out-of-focus time-lapse footage of Texas and a smooth drive into Oklahoma. Thankfully, the drive through Oklahoma was uneventful, but we did get the only stretch of road on our road trip with an 80-mile-per-hour speed limit, which was pretty nice. At the end of the day, we arrived at our destination in Joplin, Missouri.
It was day 3, we're on the road. We were going to get gas before we left because we were about at a half a tank each. But the gas station we pulled into was actually getting refilled from a tanker truck. So we called that off. We're going to hit the road, maybe do 100 or so miles, or maybe go to a quarter of a tank left and fill up then. So, 9 hours of driving today. About 630 miles total. Let's do it. It is very pretty out here.
Day 4, and not day 3 as I said in my car recording, was Joplin, Missouri to Dayton, Ohio. So we're crossing all of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana in one day. Sometimes you see some cars that need maintenance, and we also saw what we think were Copart convoys with a pickup truck towing a car on a trailer, and a second car hitched to that trailer, which looked questionable. In Springfield, Missouri, we found another Buc-Ee's, so we stopped there too. If you're wondering how many fuel pumps there are, it's 120 at this one. We got gas and bought more snacks before getting back on the road.
Alright, so I'm on 70 East in Indiana, heading towards Ohio, and it is rough. It's bumpy as hell. This car on the coilovers is very firm, so it's shaking me around quite a bit. It's like a 20-mile construction zone. This part's actually relatively smooth. But, man, this is really lumpy. Ooh, the groove's pulling me around, too. The good part is, there's only 40 miles left for the day. So, that's nice. Alright, so we're in Ohio. We only have Pennsylvania left. And then we're back in New Jersey. And interestingly, the road is way smoother now, all of a sudden, now that we've crossed the border. So I don't know what's going on in Indiana, but admittedly it was a work zone, but it was rough. It was rough. Ugh.
Alright, so it's the last day going through Ohio from Dayton into Pennsylvania, crossing all of Pennsylvania on 76, and then into New Jersey. So far, everything's been going well. We did hit a pothole each yesterday. That was a little stressful until we were able to check, and the wheels are just fine, which was a big relief with about this much tire on the front on this car and maybe a little bit more on the other, but we're good. I do have one warning light. Let me show you right here, which is low washer fluid. And it's interesting because I have not been using washer fluid because the windshield washer doesn't work. So I'll go into more details of why it doesn't work in the future, but you know, not a huge deal. That's good. So now we're gonna get on the road. Rob is right here, and we're gonna get home. Get these cars home under their own power. One last day. Let's go.
So we're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I-76 East. Got just under 300 miles to get home, and it's really the final stretch. It's actually a road I've driven on before, so this is the end of new territory for me. But it's been a nice drive, and it's really great seeing the country.
Of course, once we found tunnels, we had to hear the CL63 rev up a bit.
They got some bark.
Hey guys, Rob here. I just want to say a couple of things. At this point in the trip, I was starting to feel a little less nervous. Every mile we got closer to home, I started feeling better and better. By this point, the breakdown of the Infiniti felt like it was a week in the past. But it did something for me. It reminded me that this DIY hobby that we all share is more than just what we do on the off times. It's actually pretty powerful. Because that breakdown, regardless of parts, could have shut us down. We could have been looking for a truck and trailer and trying to tow this home, wondering if the car was ever going to work again. Instead, we spent the day figuring it out, putting it back together, and every mile was just better than the last. So, if you've ever wanted to turn a wrench, get out there and do it. Go find resources. I mean, there's a million of them. There's this channel, there's Roadkill, there's a million channels here on YouTube. Go and do it, because when you do, you'll see things and do things that you never thought possible. And you'll meet some really cool people and have a lot of fun along the way. And I think that's why this was so important to me, and why all of this means so much, because I really wanted to do the trip that my dad never got a chance to. I wanted these cars to go from Arizona to New Jersey under their own power and share them with everybody and anybody that I could. And I would never have gotten the chance to do that if we didn't spend so much time tinkering with cars. So, yeah. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the trip.
This bridge crosses the Delaware River, and it's also where we're crossing into New Jersey and wrapping up this 2,400-mile adventure.
And this trip had everything that turns a lowercase a adventure into a capital A adventure. Breakdowns, tow trucks, fixing a car in a hotel parking lot. But it was still amazing, and I'm so glad that we did it.
All right, that's New Jersey. We made it. Yeah, we did. 2,400 miles in cars that have driven in like 2 years. Yep.
We're home after 2,400 miles, one breakdown, and some worry about the tires, which are just fine, very luckily.
The tires were not even a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it feels like, what was it, Wednesday night was a million years ago.
Yeah, it was.
I have never been so worried about a car in my life. Maybe it's because it was my dad's car and I knew that he wanted these to drive on Route 66. Maybe it was just because of the uncertainty, but wow. When we got that pulley, shout out to Noni at one of the O'Reillys in Albuquerque. Dude was awesome.
So great, yeah.
Helped us find the right pulley.
Mm.
Yeah, I couldn't have been happier when this car started.
And also shout out to the tow truck driver who helped us get this on the trailer without scraping the exhaust. Thank you to the Sky City Casino Hotel staff. They were super friendly, letting us work in the parking lot. And thanks to everybody, for everyone who helped us out. Couldn't have done it without you.
I mean, they say that like people who like cars are just a community. It's an inbuilt community, and that was so true on this trip.
Yeah.
And for everyone who helped us, and Arrowhead Imports, who took care of these cars for basically their entire lives, got us in at the last minute to get this car raised up a little bit. It's on BC Racing coilovers.
There was one finger back here, and we were worried that it was just gonna rub and shred the tire. That would have been not good.
And so they moved things around and got us in and got the car raised up and leveled just to make the trip a little bit easier. Also, Carter from Tucson Mobile Tires. This man is absolutely the best. I have never seen someone do chrome rims and rims like this without a little bit of scratching, and he did absolutely none. He's worked on this car a couple of times, and he drove 2 hours and 45 minutes to get some rims swapped out for us. So again, thank you so much. And really, to everyone we met along the way who said something about the cars, that they liked them, just thank you.
And thank you for watching too. These cars will be on the channel. We're actually gonna do a walkthrough of both of them in more detail, show you what's wrong with them. Well,
Because
mostly
there's
this
stuff
one.
wrong with them.
Mostly this one.
There's a few things wrong with the CL as well.
That's true, I forgot. So we'll be bringing them to shows, keeping them up, showing you any work we do on them, and doing a couple of really cool upgrades too. So stay tuned.
Thanks for watching.
And I'll see you next time.